All right, this is a beginner's abdominal core exercise. So this could be really good if you're postpartum or if you've just never really done abs much, or if you just want to gain a good understanding of how to start. So we are going to start on our backs with our knees bent. So it would be good to have a mat for this. And I want you to tilt your hips so that your back is flat. So try to make it so that you have no space. So if you have your hand under your low back, you're gonna squish your hand. Okay, so tilt the hips to flatten your back. Okay, so in doing this, we are bringing our belly button toward our spine and contracting our really lower abdominal muscles, our deep, I should say, low, because it's going to be kind of your whole lower core, so your whole abdomen, and it's your transverse abdominis muscles that are almost like a corset, so that when you contract them, it's not those six-pack muscles, but the deeper ones that can actually help to stabilize. So now, as you tilt, I want you to actually see if you can contract those deep muscles, and you should still be able to talk while you're doing it. And if you feel, you can feel along a couple different places. So relax, and then flatten your back and bring your belly button down towards your spine, and you should be able to feel the deep muscles tightening. So push down through fat, push through those superficial muscles, and try to see if you can feel those deep muscles, and just kind of experiment a little bit. So like these are really important muscles if you have to cough, when you're lifting things, pretty much everything we do, we should be stabilizing these deep muscles. And they actually come around and attach to the front of our spine. So they're really good if you have back pain. Getting these muscles strong is really important. Okay, so this is called the posterior pelvic tilt. We're tilting our hips and tightening our lower deep abdominal muscles. Now, along with this, if you feel like you're getting the hang of that, a good thing to practice with that is to do a Kegel, where you're taking your pelvic floor muscles and bringing them towards your head, that direction, that upward direction. So these muscles work really a lot together. And so especially if you're like postpartum, all those muscles can be really weak. And if they are really weak, you're not going to be able to hold that contraction for very long. So this is a good thing to kind of just ease in and out of it, and don't worry about holding it at first. But then as you get the hang of it, you can start to hold it a little longer. So I like to do it while I'm breathing in, relaxing, breathing out. I get that posterior pelvic tilt, belly button towards spine, contracting those muscles, and bringing my pelvic floor upward, doing a Kegel. You can also think of it to some degree as like stopping your flow of urine, contracting those muscles. But it's more than just that, it's all of those pelvic floor muscles. So if some of that is confusing, you might consider Googling those muscles just to kind of get the visual in your head of how you're going to contract them. And these are not exciting, but they are so important. Okay, take a little break. And if you feel like any of that was hurting or getting really worked, then that's probably enough. Or if you're in pain, you might consider talking to your provider. Hopefully, if you're doing this postpartum, you've been cleared for exercise. Okay, if you feel like you're ready to move on from here, we're gonna still keep everything really beginner level today, but let's go ahead and do our posterior pelvic tilt, bring our belly button down toward our spine, and then we're gonna go out with our knees, spreading like a butterfly, and then back up. Now, we don't wanna lose focus on the core here. So really focus on flattening your spine, belly button towards spine, and keep that really stable as we're going out and in. Okay, and then if you can add the Kegel to it, so flatten your back by tilting your hips, belly button to spine, pelvic floor upward, and then bring your knees toward the floor and back up, just nice and slow and controlled. So again, this isn't a lot of hard work, but it is a lot going on with your body and focusing on doing proper mechanics. So flatten your low back, belly button to spine, pelvic floor up, and then go down with your knees. And you could even bring in gently pulling your shoulder blades down and back to make sure that you're not rounding those shoulders up, which if you've been holding babies or working at the computer, those can get, you can get really tight in the front. So that's also really good to work on. Now, just go ahead and go at your own pace. If you feel like you can hold the contractions, then that's great, but most people are gonna have to stop and let them relax at least every couple of reps. So you can kind of decide what level you're at, what you're ready for, but just keep running through in your mind. Am I still holding my belly button to spine? Am I still flattening my low back? Am I bringing my pelvic floor up towards my head? Because you have to get so good at doing that before you add in any of those crazy abdominal exercises. Okay, and if you're not used to this, your muscles will start feeling tired. So just be patient with your body and give it the time it needs to learn this muscle pattern and to gain the muscle endurance to be able to stabilize. And that way you can be working on it throughout the day when you're working, driving a car, picking up a baby. Okay. We're just gonna do a couple more. So the next one, let's let our legs relax a little bit. I still like them bent up in this position because it helps you flatten your back. If you straighten your legs, you're gonna naturally have a curve in your low back. So keep what we call hook line, this hook line position with your knees bent, and flatten your low back, belly button down to your spine, pelvic floor, doing that Kegel. Okay, but this time, instead of moving our legs, we're gonna move our arms. So I'm gonna choose one arm, up and down, other arm, up and down. Now try to bring those shoulder blades down and back while you do it to stabilize there. And if it doesn't feel good to go all the way up, you could always just go to like 90 degrees here. Or you could even, if you'd rather go like out and in here. But this is gonna work your core a little bit more this direction. So you can decide what you feel ready for, but do not lose that core. See, I could tell while I was talking, I lost my Kegel. So just if you lose it, just start again. Take yourself through. Hopefully, again, nothing's hurting. If anything's hurting, you shouldn't be doing this. This should not be painful. Not feeling muscles work, that's okay. Good. Okay, now to sit up, I'm going to roll onto my side as a unit so that I'm not twisting my back. And then I'm gonna push up. Okay, and then the last thing, I just wanna talk about posture. So standing would actually be good, but that won't be a very good angle for me. So I'm gonna do it in sitting, but you can stand or sit against the wall and just practice getting your shoulder blades down and back, Make sure your head is going back, not down or up, but just straight back. Okay, and then what you can do is play a little bit with your pelvic tilt in this standing position. So laying down, we had gravity helping us. Now you're either sitting or standing. So you can gently practice that tilt a little bit. Again, just to work it a little bit in a different position. Now, if that's too awkward, then just don't do this yet. Just only do it lying down. Excuse me, but if you feel like you're ready to practice it in other positions, it's a good thing to practice, because then, like I said, you can start to do it throughout the day. So I know this wasn't the most exciting exercise, but it's so important. So do this until you have it down, and then I will have a part 2 to make it a little more exciting soon.